Hi everyone. So this is hopefully my second video. I've been excited about creating some videos for people to use during this time when so much is changing and so much feels uncertain and up in the air, and where most of us are in the house for much of the day, either working or trying to create some sort of structure. That's probably very different from how our normal routine is. So in this video, I wanted to offer something that could be used sort of as a transition at the end of the day. Sort of at the end of the day, can really be used anytime, but I'm thinking kind of if you're working from home or going out to work, a way of transitioning from that to the rest of your evening, to the rest of the time you have in that day. And I thought this would be particularly important because most of our transitions now are sort of flattened. I know for myself, normally I would have a commute home, and that's not the case. And for so many of us, so many different components of our lives are kind of mashed into one. And we can easily kind of be done with work for the day, close the computer, and then in less than a second be engaging with others or faced with kind of free time, and there isn't a lot of room for transitions. And I actually think transitions are hugely important, and it's very hard to stay present with them. I know for myself, I can have a sort of urgent energy sometimes and a desire to get to the next thing and to get to it sort of perfectly or right. And I miss the in-between. I'm so kind of focused on getting here from here that I miss all the life that happens in between. And that's important time. So I'm gonna do maybe a little bit of body stuff just to shake out energy that builds up during the day. This is going to accumulate. It happens every day probably for all of us. And given that we're moving less in general or walking less in general, it's important to have opportunities to kind of shake out and release some of the tension and stress that built up in the body. And then we'll move into seated meditation that I'll talk us through, mainly kind of going through the day, working with parts of us that maybe came up or help us through the day. So that's general picture. So maybe let's take a moment, if it's comfortable for you, to close your eyes. Well, this is probably going to be a longer one, so if you don't have something warm, you might want to get a sweater or a blanket. It gets cold when we sit for a long time. So you can just press pause and do that if you need. And also take off your shoes if you're wearing shoes. It's important to feel our feet on the ground as much as possible. And then when you're ready, maybe allowing your eyes to close. Taking a nice deep breath, long exhalation. Maybe a couple breaths that way. Inhaling deeply and exhaling maybe with a sigh. And if you're struggling to find the breath at the belly, you might exhale all the air out first. I find that then on inhale, the belly naturally rises. So a couple breaths that way. Maybe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting yourself arrive. in this moment that you're giving to yourself. And then because this is sort of an end of the day meditation, I thought we might start by gently stretching, almost like as if you first woke up, which might sound counterintuitive, but so you might push back in your chair and let your body stretch. Wide, tall, side to side. And you can be as gentle or as kind of big as you need to be. Just take a couple moments with that, making sure to also stretch the feet and the legs. And you can do a little tense and release, tense and release, tense, release. You can do that with the face, right? Gathering tension and then releasing. Whatever your body needs. Sometimes we're just starting to learn to listen to what that is. Roll your feet around, your toes, hands, maybe shake just a little bit also. Shaking the arms, shoulders, head. It's hard to talk while I do this, so I'm just going to shake a little bit. And again, as gentle, you can shake like this, or as rigorous as your body might be needing due to whatever's kind of accumulated. Keep your eyes closed if you want. And then gradually coming to stillness. And do maybe one more stretch. Thinking maybe hands. So bending the hands and pressing out through the palm and wrist to get a nice stretch. The arms are straight. That can help with hands that have been at the computer all day. You can spread the palm. Nice. And then the other. Okay. Then coming into comfortable seated position. And you can see that I automatically do a little bit of a sway. And so I invite you to do that also first. You can let the eyes close if you want. And starting to just shift the weight a little bit from side to side, from forward to back, or maybe kind of circles. I find that it's a really nice way to remind the body to soften. Sometimes when we meditate or work, we kind of get so stiff and still, and everything kind of hardens. And so having a gentle sway, especially at first in meditation, can be really a nice sort of physical reminder of, oh yeah, I can invite all this to kind of soften, melt, release, move. And then gradually slowing the movements. You might keep a gentle sway or rocking motion throughout, or if you notice yourself starting to stiffen up in the neck or shoulders, kind of just invite that gentle movement. Sometimes just moving the head like this can be a nice little reminder to the neck to release. So with the eyes closed, feet on the floor, back hopefully supported, shoulders back and down. The hands can rest comfortably on the lap, face down or face up, whatever is easiest for your shoulders. You can even have a pillow on your lap if you want to kind of release tension in the shoulders if that builds up for you. Softening the eyes as they are closed, and sensing that you're breathing, the body is breathing naturally. Maybe tuning into that gentle expansion of the ribs on inhale, outward, contraction gently down on exhale. Connecting to the fact that we are breathing beings. Maybe sensing your heartbeat as well. You might begin to feel the body settle. And you might notice that the mind is still super active, super caught in the day, still in modes of maybe analyzing, planning, writing, evaluating. It's totally fine. And the first step that we will take is to recognize all those parts of you that help you get through the day. Getting a feel for how they show up in the mind or in the body. Maybe the parts of us that are really driven, directed, focused. Maybe parts that are perfectionistic. Make sure we do everything right. Parts that are really good at planning, figuring out. Just in your own way, in your own time, getting a sense of all these parts of you that help you get through the day, whether that's at a job, with family, managing your own life. And in whatever way they show up, getting a sense of the energy that each might carry. Maybe how you feel toward each one. And you might take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate what these parts do for you. Extending that toward them in whatever way feels right for you. And maybe bringing to mind particular ways that these parts of you were kind of helping today. Remembering to breathe, to soften where you can. And then maybe reminding yourself, reminding these parts of you that you are transitioning now. Transitioning into a different part of your day. And that they can rest. They can relax. Maybe not fully, depending on what you need to do. And in a similar way, maybe briefly bringing to mind anything that you might be a little bit stuck or hung up on from the day. Anything that was particularly challenging or difficult or brought up unpleasant feelings for you. And you might notice, even in bringing those to mind, some tension building in the body or in the heart, in the mind. Maybe taking some deeper breaths with that. And if possible, extending some self-forgiveness toward yourself or toward others, if that's really where the tension is. It doesn't have to be a big outpouring of love or affection. It can be very quiet. Just, may I forgive myself? We're all going through this time. We're all struggling in our own way, and we never could do it perfectly, but certainly now, we're not going to do it perfectly. And so there might be some things to let go of at the end of the day. And it may feel enough to simply offer that toward yourself, that attitude of kindness or self-forgiveness, releasing, letting go. If there's something that's really weighing on you, you might imagine releasing it in some visual way, using imagery. Releasing it to the wind, releasing through fire, releasing through water, like setting it into the stream or a river or the ocean and watching it go. So you might play around with that a little bit right now. And then you might also bring to mind anything, even small moments that went well or felt positive or easeful. Anything, however small, that you might appreciate or be grateful for thus far today. It might be something that you did that you want to acknowledge and really take in, or it might be something that someone else did, or it might have nothing to do with people. It might be a moment when you looked outside. Right now I see snow outside. It might be a moment with your pet. or a moment when you really were digging a song that you were listening to, or a moment when you didn't react in a habitual way. Take a moment and bring that to mind, that or many moments if there were. Give yourself a moment to breathe and drink that in, the feeling of that, the appreciation or the ease, the curiosity, maybe a moment of connection. Nice long inhalation, nice slow exhalation. Maybe swaying a little bit, connecting to the body. Sensing your whole body in space, taking up space, having weight. And finally, you might begin to think about the rest of your day or night, the qualities that you might like to bring as you maybe engage with others or have some time to rest or relax, unwind. Bringing a sense of intention to how you'd like to move into the rest of the night. Not any sort of demand, not it has to look this way or else I've messed up, but something very gentle and simple. May I be patient with myself and others. May I allow myself to rest or enjoy. Something simple, even if not easy. And then in these final moments, just coming again into the body and the breath, maybe bringing a hand to the heart or a hand to the belly, or both. I often like to do both. Again, breathing deeply, fully, maybe sighing out through the mouth. Any tension that still remains. Maybe bringing that gentle sway or rocking to soften any tension that's built up as we've sat together. And finally, appreciating the opportunity to connect to yourself, the worthiness of taking the time to do that. Caring for your mind and heart and body, just as you would care for loved ones. And then in your own time, you can allow your eyes to open if they've been closed and kind of come back into the space. And maybe stretch just as we began. Awakening fully the body again. And remembering that we're in this together, that we're connected, even when it might be hard to feel that way. So thanks for joining, and I hope you have a great day.